Namaste, good morning, good to see you again. Today we take you to Europe and what happened in Bharatanatyam in Europe. Now Europe is a union of many countries. In comparison to United States, Europe has been a favorite destination and a fertile land for Indian classical dance, especially Bharatanatyam. Due to British colonization, United Kingdom or UK has pioneered many spectacular dancers and productions in Bharatanatyam. It was a troupe of Devadasis from Pondicherry who took Europe by storm in 1838, lasting till 1839. The Devadasis, Telammal age 30 and Ammani age 18, Rangam age 14 and Sundaram age just 13 and Vedam a child of 6 who were accompanied by a Natunar, Ramalingal Mudali, a Mridang Vedan and a Tuti, drone-like instrument resembling a bagpipe player. They were so successful that they danced and Jacob Hafner, a Dutchman who fell in love with the Devdasi while in India, combined and claimed as inspiration for Petipa's La Bayadre ballet. These Devdasis gave multiple performances in Paris, London, 55 performances at the Adelphi Theatre alone, Brussels, Antwerp, Frankfurt, Berlin, Vienna. Imagine in 1838 and 1839. With Anne Pavlova, the Russian ballerina who was living in London since 1912, Indian dance has had a vibrant history. On the 10th anniversary of her joining the Mariinsky, Anna Pavlova appeared as a lead dancer in a new ballet, La Bayadre. This is based on the life of a Devdasi who is loved by a Hindu priest, but she loves a gallant due to gratitude towards the local Raja. And Pavlova's involvement with India started from this time. On her very first visit to India in 1922, the lasting impressions Pavlova carried of her visit was of the Ajanta frescoes. In London, her staff choreographer Ivan Klastin created a ballet called Ajanta Frescoes, but the effort remained amateurish, as Klastin had never seen the frescoes nor had any idea of Indian dancing. In India, Pavlova had occasion to attend a wedding, and now her attention turned to producing a ballet on this theme. Komalata Banerjee, a musician settled in London, was commissioned to devise the music for the third ballet titled A Hindu Wedding. But Anne Pavlova made a greater contribution than this. She was advised of a young Indian boy who was in London studying painting, but who also dabbled in dance, and who might prove of help to Pavlova in doing and designing the ballet. Thus, Anne Pavlova discovered Uday Shankar as a dancer, for he not only designed but choreographed a Hindu wedding. He also choreographed Krishna and Radha, in which Pavlova invited him to partner her on stage. Thus, India's greatest genius in dance was born. In 1929, Pavlova went to Australia via India and Java. A young bride, Rukmini Devi Arundale, with her husband George Arundale, was aboard the ship. Their cabin was opposite Pavlova's, and one thing led to another, and Pavlova's staff choreographer, Cleo Nordi, inspired Rukmini to learn ballet while on the long journey. Later, Rukmini Devi not only helped reinstate Bharatanatyam, but also set up the institution Kalakshetra for teaching dance. Inspired by Anne Pavlova, Uday Shankar returned to India and created his group of dancers. Shortly, there were dancers who visited Europe and UK for their performances. Notably are the ones by Uday Shankar, Ram Gopal, T. Bala Saraswathi and Rukmini Devi's Kalakshetra troops. After he met Simki in 1928, Uday Shankar started assembling his troupe and choreographing some of his earliest productions. In 1931, he and his troupe toured Europe and the United States that lasted for 7 years. It all began in Paris, where he created his own style of dance and he became famous from his performances in Paris. It was during this time he produced iconic choreographies like Tandav Nritya, Kaliya Daman, Nach, Ras Leela, and many others. His dance and his productions made a great impact in laying a foundation for Indian dance in Europe, not only the European audiences, but he influenced choreographers in their future works, according to his biography by Mohan Khokar. Audiences, dancers, and choreographers in the West were not yet ready to assimilate the classical dances and dance dramas of India in all their complexity, but they were ready to appreciate Shankar and his choreography, with its relatively simple steps and rhythms of foot beats and its presentation of themes and stories in such a way that no knowledge of Hasta Mudras was necessary for their understanding. A few years later, another dancer that influenced Bharatanatyam in Europe was Ram Gopal, the Bangalore-based dancer who had learned Bharatanatyam from Pandanallur Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai and Guru Muthukumaran Pillai. His dances, unlike Uday Shankar's, were much closer to the classical format. However, he had modified the setting, costumes, and presentation to suit the European tastes. In 1938, he toured Sweden, Denmark, Holland, Finland, Norway, Ireland, Switzerland, Poland, UK, and France. His performances were great success, and his trademark performance of Golden Eagle, Sandhya Tandava, had huge approvals. In 1956, he represented India in the Edinburgh Festival. Years later, Ram Gopal settled in the UK and was awarded the Order of the British Empire, OBE, in 1999 for his contributions to dance. Another dancer that made an indelible mark in UK's dance history and thereby introducing Bharatanatyam to wider audiences was T. Bala Saraswathi. Her performance in 1963 Edinburgh Festival strengthened the fact that Bharatanatyam is here to stay in UK. After her 8 performances, due to the demand of the audiences, she was requested to stay for longer and subsequently gave 8 more performances, which was a record of sorts. That she became famous in England through these performances is an understatement. In UK, many dancers have settled and continue to teach, like Pushkala Gopal, Usha Raghavan, Geeta Upadhyay, Anusha Subramaniam, Chitra Sundaram, Chitralekha Bolar, Geeta Sridhar, Deepa Ganesh, Neena Rajarani, Chamundeshwari Kuppuswamy. Institutions like the Bharati Vidya Bhavan and universities like Roehampton teach Bharatanatyam, which is even included in the school syllabus. Mavin Koo, Mayuri Bonham, Sita Patel are other prominent dancers of Bharatanatyam. In the UK in recent years, the term British South Asian dance is more commonly used to denote Bharatanatyam, which defines the dance forms that are made in Britain, but the techniques originated from the South Asian continent. The generic term has raised eyebrows since among the diaspora, the Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans also learn Bharatanatyam or other Indian dance forms in the UK. UK has been on the forefront of innovations in Bharatanatyam, where the dancers, while trained in the classical form, have collaborated and experimented, thereby enhancing the dancing. The choreographers have negotiated a space where they deal with preserving tradition and technique while innovating the experimenting. Interweaving Bharatanatyam and European classical music, Angika, which is a British dance company founded in 1997, produced Triple Hymn in 2000. The choreographers placed both the classical forms side by side, thereby highlighting the cross-cultural bonding. Another Bharatanatyam-based dancer who has made a mark in contemporary dance involving Bharatanatyam vocabulary is Shobhana Jaisingh. Some of Shobhana Jaisingh's productions are duets with automobiles, making of maps, new cities, ancient lands, and Byzantium. Her production Surface Tension in 2000 mixed postmodern dance and South Asian movements, in the words of Avanti Meduri. She emerged dramatically as a contemporary South Asian dancer and took British contemporary dance world by storm. Jai Singh articulated a new aesthetic vision for contemporary South Asian dance in Britain by deconstructing Bharatanatyam dance vocabulary and urbanized the classical form by combining it with Western postmodern movement genres. In 2015, Shobhana Jai Singh revisited La Bayadre, the ballet composed by Petipa, as Bayadre the Ninth Life. In this, she incorporated contemporary and personal visions. She mixed the original story along with the first visit of Devadasis to Europe in 1838. The Bharati Vidya Bhavan's branch in London was opened in 1972, and few years later, in 1979, Tara Rajkumar founded the National Academy for Indian Dance, or NAID, which got rechristened as Academy. South Asian dance in 1990s. Academy has been at the forefront of showcasing Indian dance in the UK by having large-scale productions with spectacular shows. Academy organized Indian classical dance performances in the Westminster Hall as part of the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. Bharati Vidya Bhavan, London had a singular goal of preserving the tradition of Indian art and culture for posterity, while the Academy had designs to enlarge and definitions of the traditional and classical in the dance forms. This was achieved by cultural translation and making Indian dance as part of the multicultural map of Great Britain. Kadam is responsible for bringing out Pulse, Asian music dance magazine in the UK. This magazine is now part and parcel of the cultural fabric of UK's Bharatanatyam scene. Chitra Sundaram, a trained Bharatanatyam dancer, arrived in UK in the 1980s and performed Bharatanatyam with provocative titles such as Of Gods and Kings and Ordinary Men. She was the editor of Pulse magazine from 2002 to 2007, and now Sanjeevani Datta manages the publication. In UK, similar to other countries, Bharatanatyam is considered as a medium of expression and a vessel for cultural propagation amongst the diaspora. Thus, for Tamils, including Sri Lanka in UK, the Saturday-Sunday schools offer the migrant community respectability, highly valued femininity, mythology, and devotion to the deity of their dance choice. The presence of Bharatanatyam dance classes at several major London Tamil temples signifies a new link between the dance and religious ritual and religious expression in the contemporary diasporic setting. It also signifies the increased importance assigned to the dissemination of dancing within religious practice. Bharatanatyam is currently being promoted as an important subject for study in 3 of main London temples. Many community elders, dance teachers, temple devotees, and religious leaders consider it to be relevant to the religious festivals in several other temples where performances by teachers, professionals, and students can be seen. It is taught at most of the Tamil Saturday and Sunday schools. Of late, Milap Fest has been attracting senior dancers from India and young dancers who are eager to learn the nuances of Bharatanatyam. Working on a model of week-long dance intensive workshop, the Dance India annual series has top dancers like Leela Sampson, Priyadarshini Govind, Rama Vedanathan, Braga Bessel to teach at various levels of skill. The model has been quite successful that has been replicated in Singapore as Dance Asia Pacific. Besides UK, France remains number 1 for learning and teaching Bharatanatyam, followed by UK and others. The French have taken to Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music like fish to water. For 35 years since the 1980s, Guru M.K. Saroja went to Paris each year and has trained over 300 students, of whom Vidya now heads Mandapa's Bharatanatyam section. As part of her tour, M.K. Saroja gave performances in England, Switzerland, Italy, West Germany, and many other places. There is a deeper connection of how Bharatanatyam became a household name in France. It was due to the efforts of V.S. Muthuswami Pillai and his horde of French students that Bharatanatyam got established in France. Muthuswami Pillai is a student of Vidwan Muthukumaran Pillai of Kattumanar Koil. Thus, the Bani also went from Chidambaram to Champs-Élysées. Starting from his first French student, Verushka, Elise Menaka, till Dominique and Elizabeth Petit, there is an unbroken line of students who practiced with earnest. In return of his efforts, the French government awarded the Chevalier des Arts at the Lettres Award to Muthuswami Pillai in 1985, the first Bharatanatyam guru to receive it. Apart from Dominique, Shakuntala, Malavika, Amala Devi, Manochaya are famed performances of this lineage of Muthuswami Pillai. In Switzerland, Dasappa Keshava has made Bharatanatyam in the Mysore style a household name. Starting from 1976 onwards with his school Kalasri, he has been imparting the knowledge he imbibed from the Mysore palace dancer K. Venkatalakshma. In Germany, the Bharatanatyam dancers are Arup Ghosh in Munich, M.K. Saroja's first male student, Alexandra Romanova, again in Poland and Germany, Angelika Sriram, Katya Shivani, Margit Kaufman, Raj Sri Ramesh. Finland recently saw a unique experimentation of Philharmonic Orchestra along with Bharatanatyam. The Helsinki Philharmonic Orchestra, led by John Storgards, along with the Carnatic singer Bombay Jayashri and the Bharatanatyam dancer Priyadarshini Govind, danced to Indian poems set to Western classical music. There were lyrical compositions that were rendered in Abhinaya and some rendered in pure Nritta.